And we're live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the podcast. Legendary strength coach Dan, John. Dan, you're looking good as always.
Yeah, I just
Funky fresh.
I just popped out of the shower. Sorry for being tardy today. I
No, that's
apologize.
all right. That's all right. How's your week been? Training going well? All that good
Hey,
stuff.
my lifts are going up. I was looking over my journal since the summer, and going to Australia, going on these trips, going to North Carolina, getting sick, and all of a sudden, I think a lot of that's behind me, and so I'm kind of turning the corner. My daughter came out with a new way to light my office. So, how everything look okay?
Looks good. Yeah, clear, crisp, looking good. Sean, yeah.
Good. But things are good. Had a great weekend. Took my grandkids to Barnes and Noble, which is always just wonderful, and it is kind of a fun time of year because track season's starting up. So
yeah,
a lot of my former athletes are now coaching. So this is the time of year I get those really hard to explain text messages that have a video with. It almost seems like we're talking in a foreign language. About a shot put turn or a weight throw, and it's I'll be on the phone going, yeah, we need to in the 3 bree position. You need to and then a drill, and I'll kind of hang up and go, man, because it's like I guess if you're listening to someone talk about Olympic lifting or kettlebells or American football, there's all that lingo, and
you're right. Yeah.
You almost need another degree, to understand all the little words,
Right.
And how's everything going for you? How are the kids?
Good. Busy. The kids are starting back up with their co-op stuff, so it's we had a good break, enjoyed the break, but I'll tell you, Dan, routine is such an important thing, not for children and adults, really. I mean, you're talking about travel, how disruptive travel can be to productivity. But yeah, having kids and just like breaks are fun, they're good. But once we're back into routine, man, things are a lot easier,
That's awesome.
Yeah. But real quick, because I know last week we talked about, focusing on decluttering for 2026. Do you have your sights on any competitions this year, Dan? Any lifting or anything like that?
Actually, this I'm in the discernment process for something, but my team, the Hercules Barbell Club, at our last state with weightlifting meet, there was quite a controversy. One of the bosses of another gym had to be escorted away by the police, and it's. So for Olympic lifting, it's been awkward for me because I know these people, all the characters personally, for throwing, I'm thinking of maybe next year I'll throw because I'll be 70 next year as a discus thrower. So I might come out, and the only reason on that is, I didn't really. I don't know. I still worry about a few things, but I will say this: there is a body transformation course contest coming up, and I was actually thinking of popping on that.
That would be cool.
But the problem, I made the big mistake. Instead of coming in at 400 pounds, I'm coming in at 198 to 202, so I won't get those.
Yeah.
All
right. So this would be somebody else's protocol. What would Dan? I'm sure people will be interested in this. What would Dan John's body transformation program look like these days? Somebody came to you for body transformation.
Well, I mean, it would be obviously I would have fasting in there. In a perfect world, you would have 2 meals, a snack a day. You just nailed. I'll get right back to that in a second. But
yeah.
The real thing to do is have the exact same meals and snacks every day, so that it would be boring.
Monotony routine, just what we were talking about, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there you go. So you can't, the breakfast we eat is I have 2 eggs, cottage cheese, a protein smoothie with berries. Sometimes kimchi or sauerkraut.
Yeah. Wow, that's super protein.
So yeah, big protein, some veggies as best you can. Sometimes it's just leftovers. Just leftover veggies.
Hey, yeah, fine.
Cooked up about, I think it's called delicata squash. I cooked up 4 of those, and those will last. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like eating candy. I don't know why. They're delicious. I have my own salt that I make from basil, oregano, and
Oh,
it's
very
great.
cool. Hmm.
And so you'd have to nail you have to nail food first. And sadly, if you do the numbers, you're not going to get much on anything, but you have to nail those calorie numbers. You
Right.
have to. And then from there, any tweaking you do, obviously, I walk 10,000 steps a day. I would have to tweak that to 14, 15, and that would almost have to be a straight up given. And then really in the weight, with my, you know, 61 years of weightlifting, I can't really dial up a weight training program that's going to be, something new and amazing.
Yeah, right,
Oh,
right, yeah.
a secret
There's
formula
only
that
so much volume and intensity you can add after however many decades of weightlifting.
I, I, I don't know. But those would be the big, and I'd probably extend sleep to a full night's sleep and either a daily nap or a really long meditation every day. So there, you'd have to get into the 8 or 9 hours of sleep, the 15,000 steps. Probably, I hate, I'm just spitballing that 1,500. I'm sure, walking around Disneyland every day would be far better. You know what I mean? That 25,000 step days.
Of course, of course.
And then on the weight room side, and then you'd probably get some good advice from somebody. And then the biggest thing is the spray, tan, the hair, and then the photo, the photography.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, that's the biggest one. I mean,
Right, yeah. Control your bloating, right, yeah.
yeah, Brad Pilon had a really interesting discussion about how even when he had his most famous pictures taken, he wasn't in as good a shape as the pictures are, because with the correct lighting, and that's something that was kind of cool about what my daughter recommended. Oh yeah.
Oh, talk about
150
favorable lighting right there.
155 for 8 yesterday in the curl, no big deal.
Awesome, awesome.
But even with favorable lighting, with the favorable lighting, you look more ripped, and then you even can take iodine, I guess, or some other things, and you just draw in, you draw on a few little lines, and the lighting picks it up. And I guess there's also, you take duct tape and you pull your you pull your this back.
So, yeah, tape that back. Yep.
Yeah.
All the usual tricks of the trade that people aren't always so familiar with, and then they hear about them and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
okay, maybe that superhero wasn't actually a superhero."
Yeah.
But
Well, and
yeah.
you think about, I just watched my daughters would take this the number of shots they'll take for a selfie for like Instagram if it it takes us back in time. Oh my gosh, it's going to be 7 or 8 years this year. But when my daughter and her sorority friends had a picture taken at the wedding, I think they were there for 45 minutes, and just so that everyone could go through and delete the picture that didn't look, and they
Absolutely
it's
perfect
funny.
and sure, yeah.
And I love Lindsay, and they have this whole thing where they kind of, it's like they all kind of do this little turn like that. I'm not ripping on them. I'm just there.
That is what it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, trying to get a bodybuilder to take off sweats certain times of the year is impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll have the arms, Bill Belichick, they'll have the arms Bill Belichick, but everything else is covered up,
Of course, right. Yeah.
And it's fine. It's just, it's not the world I live in. But I just thought it'd be an interesting thing. I've never done something like this.
Yeah, that's cool. No, well, that's super fascinating. I did not expect that answer, but I'm excited for you if you decide to do it. So obviously we'll have to get some updates as things develop there. Very cool.
Or I might not do it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, just in the the discernment phase. Yeah, it's good, and it's
Erica Lemke here, one of the people we train with, she's doing one, And it's funny because you really are at a decided disadvantage if you come in shape.
Sure.
The people who win those are always those real. And if you ever saw the Body for Life documentaries, the people who would often win were former bodybuilders who had used anabolics and then got in shape, got in dis shape as bad as they could, and then showed up and then just won the contest because of, one thing about muscle, it's like strength. It doesn't forget. I don't know how many of our listeners probably have gone through this, but we know from the Physiology of Strength, that great German book, you can go a long time without lifting and get right back to your former number.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Strength is pretty sticky. Yeah.
Yeah, strength is sticky, and weirdly, I think naturally built muscle is sticky.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about anabolic build, but it just, yeah. And
Oh,
you
yeah.
can always, those of you who've been around a while, you'll go to a thing one time and, there'll be Bob over there and he'll be like, God, has he got cancer? No, he's not on anabolic.
You just stop taking drugs, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's a very famous actor who played football for the Miami Hurricanes and maybe did WWE, and then maybe let's just make up a name. I'll call him the Stone. And there's some videos of him recently, and people really do think he has cancer. That came up on a little discussion topic.
Yeah, not surprising. I think I might have some indication of who you're talking to. I'll have to do a little Googling myself. But no, I think, Dan, we all have regrets in life, but the one thing I absolutely do not regret is never getting involved with any of that stuff. The older I get, the more, and not like I was ever super tempted. I never had any delusions that I was on a trajectory to being some high level bodybuilder or athlete, where even that would have been like, that was never even in the realm for me. Right. I just wanted to be in really good shape, look good, feel strong. But yeah, as I continue to get older and it becomes increasingly obvious to me how many people are on drugs and
it's very
how awful the outcomes really are, although they're being discussed more now, which I appreciate transparently, but we're often just ignored, right?
Yeah.
The happier I am, right, that I just never got messed up with any of that
Yeah,
crap. And also just like the fact that I can look my audience with a straight face and be like, what you see is what you get. You might not like it, right? But at least I'm being honest with you, right?
Well,
Don't have to live with some like deep guilt that these people, oh yeah, it turns out the past 20 years of content I put out, I was on drugs the whole time. Wasn't it, right?
Well, another one is, like, I'm really glad I didn't get into marijuana in high school or any of the drugs.
Same here. Yeah.
That whole prefrontal cortex development thing that doesn't happen for males until they're 25. I was busy destroying my brain the old-fashioned way, American football and
good old collision.
You
doing it
you
the smart
kids
way.
and your lack of power. Instead of smoking dope, you should go head to head, tackling people with the crown of your helmet.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I don't want to go down there too much, but just
okay.
Throw it out there. Good. All right, let's get some questions answered here,
And one other thing. Tonight I'm going to Soul Percussion. I don't know and there's like a little thingy over the OL. And I'm really excited. They are a percussion group I don't know much about.
Very cool.
Kind of excited. And then next week, Alvin, I hope I say it right. Ali, Ali, the great New York-based dance company. And so I've got a Tuesday night and a Monday night. I'm very excited.
Cool. Some very fun sounding events there. Yeah. No, I love the percussion stuff. Obviously. But let's go to some questions. Just listeners, see some good stuff here. Keep it coming. We'll answer what we can. All right. Our buddy Steven says, good morning. And here is Steven's question. What are your thoughts on using the perfect workout 3 times a week for 1 to 2 weeks as a recovery reset between different programs? Dan, please remind us, what is the perfect workout? A name like that, people are probably pretty excited to hear about it.
Yeah, some jackass, the second I posted that, of course it's tongue-in-cheek, and the guy writes, I don't think that's perfect. It's like, okay, good. You win. You won the internet. You won the internet. Perfect workout is 3 sets of 8, and you alternate half kneeling press. You half kneeling press left, half kneeling press right. And then after each one of those, left, right for 8, you do a 30-second hang. So 3 rounds of half kneeling press left, half kneeling press right, hang. and then goblet squat into the overhead squat drill, which you do goblet squats and then do stick overhead squats. And it's a nice little, there's a rhythm to it. And then either the hip thrust or the Bulgarian goat bag swing, or both, I would suggest for a lot of people I work with. And then suitcase carry, and then that's it. That's it. That's the whole workout. And the idea
sounds pretty perfect.
And if you want to add more, you can add. If you add anything, you could do the ab wheel, you could do the hanging bent knee leg raise. But the idea is that those are all the exercises that you get the twofer and threefers from. See, like overhead squats. Somebody once said it was all technique. I just wanted to laugh out loud. It ain't. Having 315 over your head at arm's length and squatting.
There's a little more than just technique.
It's not, yeah, but it really demands the flexibility and mobility. The half kneeling press, yes, it's a great shoulder press. Every press is a great shoulder press, but the half kneeling position, weirdly, it works. Obviously, the hip flexor flexibility, but it also challenges your balance, which is good. The hang, not only does it work on your grip strength, obviously, but it also gives you that nice free, I call it poor man's chiropractor. And there's value in the hang. And so they're all the twofers that I like to have. And the reason I called it perfect, I actually came up with it in the midst of COVID when people are asking to undo, they were either watching TV or working at their desk.
Yeah, right.
And so that is, to me, it's like the anti-desk workout.
Yeah. So obviously something you can use as a supplement too, not just as.
Yeah. And the other thing I will say is a lot of my former athletes, the perfect workout was perfect for them. If you played like American football for me, or mostly obviously throwers, but there you accrue a little bit of not. Everything you do is going to make a little bit of damage. I mean, if you race motorcycles or bicycles, I'm sure there's been a accident or two you have to deal with, right? So that would be. It's also a good here, do this to undo some of the damage of a career.
No, I mean that's such a we've talked about this before, but I think it's just important that people have a reasonable expectation of what the cost of doing business is for certain activities, right? And to be able to reasonably weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people say, kettlebells or weightlifting is dangerous or whatever, but I mean, walking's dangerous, or could be dangerous, right? Yeah. I mean, life is just one giant danger after another, right? Yeah. The only question is what's the risk to reward profile here, and what can you do, whatever you're doing, to just try and mitigate risk?
Yeah,
as far as possible, right?
I'm a very proud member of the Murray Senior Center Walking Club, and we have this great little thing. Every 4 times a year we have a 3-month thing. Okay, this year it's called Walking to Florida. Well, when I'm with my group of my cohort of plus 55s, you get all kind. I mean, as jacked up as say this guy is from playing American football, this woman is just as jacked up from getting T-boned in a traffic accident. Right. And like you said, Larry over there. This is very common at the senior center. You'll show up at the Thursday night dance and you'll see people with black eyes falling in the most, I mean, not just ice storms, but just little things.
And not only that, but I won't name names, but I have relatives, people close to me, right? And like, sure, you exercise for decades, you got some bumps and bruises, you got some dings, you got some wear and tear. But I can name a lot of people very close to me who have done no exercise for decades and have all kinds of degenerated discs, have major surgeries, right? Yeah. So it's not like you're going to escape this. In fact, your chances of having this might even be considerably worse, at least in comparison to a exercise plan that is reasonably executed.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Like when people get on me for my hips, I'm always like, yeah, okay, so maybe my athletic career, and I have no issues with it, made my hips go out earlier. Well, yeah, but have you ever seen the picture of me standing at the podium at the Pleasanton Highland Games? When everyone's. Have you ever seen? You go to these schools and you see my names up on the wall. Or when my daughter went off to be a thrower, and the coaches from the other schools would talk to her. I know I'm bragging here, but if my athletic career led me to have some things that got to be fixed, at least I got rewarded for it. Not free education. That's pretty good. Free travel around the world. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
Names on walls. That's maybe good too. Versus, so how did you get hurt? Well,
40 years of sitting on the couch.
I'm a Steelers fan. Ooh, too soon. I'm a insert name of, it's, by the way, it's much better, I guess, to be a NFL or collegiate fan, because there's only, 16, 17 games at the most, where it's, if you're going to sit on the couch for baseball, that's 162 games a year. That's a lot more couch sitting. That's, I'm guessing, tenfold more time.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah.
So find a sport with not a lot of games if you're going to be a couch potato.
Yeah. The point is,
what did you learn from Dan today?
Point is, what should be learned is everything has its risks, and the question is, well, what do you get in return? Is that ratio favorable? And concerning the risks, are you doing everything you can to reasonably mitigate them? What else can you do?
Well, I mean, there's the thing we have in the United States that we're seeing very good at. It's called fast food, and there's fast food is fast and really relatively inexpensive. Eating at a fast food Mexican restaurant, you can feed a family pretty inexpensively. Especially when they have like the 69-cent taco or burrito sale over this one over place.
Right. Or even let's talk about those Costco hot dogs, Dan. Yeah, right.
$1.50 plus a drink, it's fast, but there's a trade-off. There's a lot of salt. There's a lot of, hyper refined foods in it. And I'm a believer that maybe it's not a good thing. Yeah. So I'm done.
Good. All right, let's see if we can squeeze in a few more here. I think the point has been sufficiently made. A boy Kang says, hey, maces and clubs seem to be the only workout my teen nephew is interested in. He wants to build maces and do mace moves with me. Are mace workouts something to avoid, Dan?
I don't use them at all, so I have no.
Neither do I.
One thing I will say, Kang, is that I was a hammer thrower for a long time, and I did the Scottish hammer, which is much like a mace. I did think, and I had my throwers do it. I do think there's value in that staggered position, left foot forward, right foot forward, doing swings. But that's all I know. Club bells, maces, and all that. Those were things that were around before I started lifting. People I respected and knew said they had no value. When they reemerged after everyone bought kettlebells, now it was time to sell club bells, and after everyone bought club bells, now it's time to sell maces. Interesting. The same person who told me they had no value later was selling them. To me, it's a lot like supplements. I don't know why I don't sell supplements. It is a cash cow.
Yeah, low hanging fruit.
Except the fact I keep telling people you don't need them. And if you are going to go to Costco, I got to tell you, it's hard to beat Costco's prices for supplements. I'll be honest with you. My hair lady. Sorry, my hair's still drying up, but my hair lady told me to take collagen, and so I added a scoop in my coffee. And it was only until about 2 weeks later I read the ingredients and realized I was getting 20 grams of protein by putting in a scoop in my coffee. And I'm like, I know it's collagen, it's more peptides than the other stuff, but hey, starting your day off with 20, and you don't even taste it.
And you're eating so much other protein. Otherwise, you're going to balance out the amino acid profile. So that is the thing with people. If they try to like maybe just take collagen post workout, not great for that. However, I think there is some interesting evidence that there's some benefit for the types of things you're talking about, Dan, the skin and the stuff like that.
And the guy in Physionomics said that does have a a mild improvement in skin elasticity over a 2 or 3 year period. And my thought is, well, okay, you know the skin elasticity test. It's where you pull a piece of skin, and then do this to your children. Pull a piece of skin, it'll snap back like it's rubber band, and as you age, it'll go slower and slower.
Interesting.
I have literally improved my skin elasticity in the last.
Yeah, I did not. All right, I think I'm doing all right. I'll have to do a comparison to my children to see. Yeah.
Well, one thing about that, gentle listener, I heard about this on a show called the Merv Griffin Show when I was home, and I'm pretty sure it was during summer school of my high school years. That's the first time, and I think it was Dirk Pearson who showed that. And that was his big, because skin's the largest organ in your body. So if skin elasticity is improving, it's not a million, it's not straight line, but it's another one of those nudges that things. It's like when you go give up, donate blood, and you get the blood pressure, the heart rate, those little tests, the temperature. It's just a snapshot, but if you have enough snapshots over time, you can find trends.
Yeah, groovy.
And we're always looking for trends, gentle listener. Okay.
Yeah, excellent. Good. All right, let's see if we can squeeze one more in here from our buddy Jack. He says, hey, thoughts on using the armor building for fat loss formula kettlebell template with some t-shirt work? I'm in a band. Yes, we do cover Van Halen, Pat. Good man, good man. And I need to keep my strength up for load in and load outs. The most glorious part of being in a band.
Yes.
The thing missing. But my confidence in performing mirrors my confidence in how studly I look. Yes. He's in his late 50s. He's got his kettlebells, his barbells, and some dumbbells. So yeah, what do you think, Dan? Is this going to help him look like a stud on stage? Is this a good approach?
Yeah. If the thing is though, okay, so the armor building formula is a really good low-end hypertrophy program, and it does help most men and women who are, is it perfect? No, but it's a great home gym training template, or, kettlebell gym. It's good. But if you're going to look good in t-shirts, remember, it's going to have to be on the calorie. You have to look at your calories. And the only thing I would say is that if you're using the fast, and you have late nights, it means you'll probably be eating later. So your eating window might be tight. And just make sure, if I were you on your writer for your contract, instead of not having any green M&Ms, make it, you have to have eggs and protein drinks and something else, I would suggest going in that direction. It's going to be nutrition.
I want to tell you the utility there, especially for the load-ins, for people who aren't familiar, if you don't have your full crew of roadies and all that, you have to haul your own equipment. Those can be quite daunting, a lot of stuff to bring in aside from your own equipment, full PA systems, and then you perform for 3. I mean, this is what I'll have to do Friday. We got a show Friday. We got to haul everything in, all the sound, all the production, perform for 3 hours, and then haul it all back out. And you just pray that it's not like up or down some huge flight of stairs or something like that. So it's a lot of hinging and squatting and loaded carries, after an already exhausting, 3 hour, essential athletic event. So yeah, you really, really should be taking your general physical fitness seriously if you're a musician that's got to do that sort of thing, because you can quite easily go to Snap City over something like that. And many people do, right?
Yeah. Well, as an American football coach, and everyone thinks you say thank you very much and then you close the door, but it was always amazing how much, just the amount of volume of equipment you got to do.
Right.
Yeah. It's also, I did see that one of our listeners just did a powerlifting meet, but it's already off my thing. But good job. Was that Kevin?
Here it is. Here we go. Kevin from Ireland has this competition in 3 weeks, and he wouldn't have got there without you, Dan. So thank you.
Oh, I didn't know. Thanks, Kevin. That means
keep us updated, Kevin. We'll love to hear how that goes.
Yeah, let's know how you do, Kevin. You're a good and decent man. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Great.
There is one of my favorite. Do I have time to tell you?
Yeah. Got a minute.
So we were in Galway, and I don't know how I found out about it, but the Irish National Powerlifting Championships were going on at the parish hall, like 3 miles to the north. So walked over there, and I went in, and it was one of the coolest things. And I got to tell you, man, it was it smelled bad because you had like 1,000 people in a room, in a living room, basically doing the lifts. It was awesome. And good luck to you. And Irish weightlifting and Irish powerlifting are doing great. And
yeah, awesome. Before we go, Dan, what are you working on this week? What projects you got on your plate?
well, I'm still, kind of rattling through that tools of coaching thing. And what I'm thinking about doing is just making it free on my website.
Oh, interesting proposition.
Just I had a very famous author who's written a bunch of really important books. Asked if he could read it, and he sent back, and I wouldn't say that it was negative. It was very positive, but it was just like this. This book is you know what? This book is the directions to how to use a hammer. Okay, and it doesn't raise your heart rate and make you just want to run through a wall. So I'm working on that. Obviously, now that I got to give my cannons 48 hours, or so I can't. I'd like to work my arms today, but it just I got to be careful. If I keep working them, they get so big. I've got a couple concerts. Things are good. It's a quiet week here in Lake Wobegon.
Good. Well, those are nice to have every now and then. But thank you as always, Dan, for your great wisdom. Thank you, gentle listeners, for your great questions. We'll catch you guys all next week. Fare thee well.